Hey guys. So last night I went and saw Red Sparrow and it was okay. Was it good? Sure. If it was fine. Was it great? By no stretch of the imagination was this movie great. This movie has serious problems that are just glaring enough that going to see this, it's not going to be the sort of deep, sexy spy thriller that you think you're going to see when you go to the movies or when you see the trailers. So if you're going to this movie with the expectation that, oh, this is going to be, it's going to be like twists and turns and it's going to be sexy and it's going to be, really thought provoking, this is not going to be the movie for you because this movie, aside from one plot point in this movie that was just confusing, this movie did not make me think. This is more a movie that you go to see if you want something that looks good but doesn't make you think too hard. Because this movie obviously, it honestly does not require much brain power. I sat down and I was drifting, my thoughts were drifting to lots of other subjects throughout this movie because it just could not hold my attention, despite the fact that it seems like it ought to be this really smart spy movie. Unfortunately, it's not. You're just not going to get that out of this movie. So what you can expect out of this movie are beautiful visuals. It had stunning, stunning cinematography in a lot of this movie. There's a scene in the pool where they use the contrast of white and red, and it's very striking and effective. Beautiful. Some of the establishing shots are gorgeous. Some of the, even drab interior shots are just perfect enough that you're sitting there like, that's really pretty. There are some scenes, there's a scene when she is learning to be a sparrow where they're standing in a gray room and they've got Gita and they've got these red curtains hanging down and they're so like uniform that you're saying they're like, there's nothing about this scene that is not beautiful because this movie is beautiful. It is really good to look at, and that's why I'm not super mad about this movie. I'm not mad that I spent my money on it because at least the entire time I was sitting there, I was thinking, this is dumb, but that's beautiful. This shot is beautiful. Everything that I'm seeing on screen is really gorgeous. And being someone that is shallow enough, I'm sitting there like everything that Jennifer Lawrence is wearing, aside from that ugly red dress, is awesome. I want her wardrobe. She looks so good in this movie. She just looks stunning. And aside from the fact that she is just the incorrect body type to play a ballerina, um, especially like a prima ballerina, like a Russian prima ballerina. She is not the correct body type for this. This is another problem that I have with Jennifer Lawrence is that she's constantly put in roles that go against her body type. And I'm not saying that because I'm like, well, she's too fat to play a Russian ballerina. Kind of, but I'm not calling her fat. I'm saying that she's like the perfect body type. And when you think Russian prima ballerina, you think like little tiny thing that probably like smokes a cigarette and has a couple leaves of salad for lunch every day. You don't think Jennifer Lawrence body. Um, the thing about that is that aside from that, she is still gorgeous. So you completely buy the fact that they want her in this program because she's sort of like this seductress character. She's very like I don't want to say withdrawn. She's very within herself and very intellectual. Oh, I don't want to. She's a very smart, beautiful character, and you can totally understand why it is that she was picked to do this project. And so watching it, I'm not totally mad that she's the wrong body type, but there are parts when you're thinking about the fact that she's this Russian dancer, this prima ballerina, where you're like, it just doesn't make sense. Um, One thing that really bothered me about this movie, and this is probably like just me and a handful of other people. I go to Iowa State to take, I'm learning Russian. Russian is one of my degrees that I'm getting. And so I have had several teachers that are authentically Russian that I hear speaking English all the time. I have had several conversations with them, lengthy, like hours of conversations with these people. I know what a Russian accent sounds like, and I know when it sounds good, and I know when someone is putting one on that sounds totally fake. And there are scenes in this movie where Jennifer Lawrence's accent was okay. It was fine. I'm not mad. But then there are scenes where she says something, and I'm like, who approved this cut? Who said, yep, that's the one, go with it? Because there are some scenes where she just fudges it so bad that there's no reason that they should have allowed that to be in the movie, aside from the fact that they don't know what an authentic, good Russian accent sounds like. And I don't know how much training that she got for this movie. I don't know how much training she had, but sorry, my dog's running around. I don't know how much training she had, but there are scenes where she does okay, and there are scenes where she does terrible. And that really took me out of the movie personally. And I don't expect that it's going to be a problem for anyone else. It's just that because my ear is used to hearing an authentic Russian accent, it was really, really annoying. And so that is what it is. You can't like go back and change that. That's just how it's going to be. So that put aside, and that being something that only a select amount of people are going to be like, that is super annoying. It was fine. There are things that happen in this movie, like the relationship between Joel Edgerton and, come here, sweetheart. There, like things between the relationship between Joel Edgerton and Jennifer Lawrence, where you don't believe it because they don't have good chemistry. They have really bad chemistry together. And you're sitting there whenever they're trying to do something that's like romantic or, well, maybe we're falling in love. I don't know. Let's see what happens. You don't care because you don't care about their chemistry. You don't care about their relationship. It's just two people that are attractive-ish. Jennifer Lawrence is super attractive. Joel Edgerton is just okay. I might be biased because the first thing I ever saw him in was The Gift, and he was creepy as heck in that movie. He was just super creepy. So maybe I'm biased because that's what I always think of whenever I see him, as just like a creep rapist. But it's just, you don't believe their chemistry. They don't even really look that good together. He seems like he might be significantly older than Jennifer Lawrence. It's just their chemistry, which is supposed to add an extra depth to this film, you just don't buy. And so because they're relying so much on this relationship between the two characters, you're sitting there like, I don't care. Can we get past this? I wish they had a relationship like the one that was between Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in Wind River, where their relationship is completely platonic, is strictly professional. They both need each other for different reasons, and it has nothing to do with sex. But because they're the two sort of leads in this movie, and they're both attractive-ish people, sorry. Because they're both attractive-ish people, they're in a relationship. And although it makes no sense, that's just the way that it is because romance. There's a plot in this movie where she has a roommate from whom she steals information, and then she goes to one of the agents and says, okay, we're doing this together. We need to do this and this and this. And it pisses the other agent off because it's a project that she had been working on for like a year and that she had been wanting to get, I think they call it a swan, that she had been wanting to get for like a long time, but she just never had the opportunity. And because Jennifer Lawrence did that, she turned around and repeated information that she had gotten from Jennifer Lawrence to another person that is aware that they're swans and is aware of what they do. And they kill that agent, and they don't kill Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence gave that information. She didn't steal, or the other agent didn't steal it like she stole the information from the other agent, which I'm pretty sure is not supposed to happen. I don't understand why they killed the agent and not Jennifer Lawrence, because Jennifer Lawrence is the one that had been instigating the trouble. She had been responsible for it. And then it was the other agent that got kind of in trouble for it because she had told another, not an agent, but like a person within that organization, what Jennifer Lawrence had said, and she was killed for it. And it doesn't make sense. And that is the part that I was like, why? Why? I don't want to, like, that was the one confusing part in this movie, because I was like, it doesn't make sense. If they're going to kill the one roommate, they should have killed both of them. I know that she's got a personal relationship with somebody that's within the government, a blood relation, but it's stupid. And I didn't care for the uncle plotline, although I know he's necessary for the film because he's the one that sort of forces her into a position where she has to become a Sparrow. I think it's gross the direction that they went in, although I'm sure that that's something that happens. It's still yucky, and I didn't care for it. It wasn't even like shocking enough to be like, oh, shock cinema. Oh my goodness. It was just like, yuck. Why? Why do we have to get to this point? Because I know that if I say more than this, I'm going to spoil it. So I'm not going to say much more. So just that, and then the plot line that just really doesn't bring you in, and it's all this, it comes off as it's supposed to be totally deep, but it really isn't. There's really no depth to this film. There's no intelligence in this film. There's nothing there that keeps you wanting more. It's just kind of a blah film that I feel is going to be forgotten, like, once it leaves theaters. This is the first movie, I saw it last and I reviewed it first, and I was running out of things to say. I'm redoing this review because I had to think about it. But it was just a blah movie. It was just okay. So if you're wanting to go and see a movie where you don't really have to think that hard and you just want something that's nice to look at and is just something that's going to fill up time, this is an okay movie to go see. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just what it was. So if you guys have gone to see this movie, I would love to know what you thought of it. Did you love it? Did you hate it? If you disagree with me on any of these points, or you better understand the dynamics between the roommate and Jennifer Lawrence, I would love to know what you think, or I would love to know your thoughts on that. So leave comments below if you'd like to be part of this conversation. If you like this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'd like to continue getting notifications when we update, just hit the subscribe button. I think on your phone there's a little bell that you can click so that you get notifications every time we update. If you're interested in doing that, I would not be obviously opposed to it, because I want to continue having conversations with you guys about this. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you tonight. Taylor and I are going to I, Tonya, because it finally came to our theater. So we will be back tonight with an update on that. See ya.